Hi, everybody. I'm Tracy Bates. This is Lorna Hennington. So this was originally supposed to be a Facebook Live presentation, however, a Q&A, but we had a little bit of technical difficulties. So we have switched over to Zoom, and we are recording this because we did have some questions that people had asked. So we are recording this to post, and we'll get these technical difficulties worked out and do another Facebook Live Zoom in the future. But for now, this is how we're rolling with it.
That's right.
Yeah. So today we're just going to do this little short Q&A about what's happening in the market. All of what's happening with the city and the shutdowns and stuff are going to affect it. We don't know how greatly, but will have an effect. But we're giving you what's happening now, and we'll update you if it changes. So that's a reason to stay tuned.
Absolutely. Hopefully things won't be in as big a flux as they were in March, right after we had those initial emergency declarations about the COVID crisis. I think people were adapting a little better to what's going on. But the main question we get from everybody is, are people selling right now? Are people buying right now? So I'll address the first. Are people selling? Yes, they are selling. We've actually got clearly more listings now than we had when the COVID crisis first started. We're down a little bit, maybe 15% from where we were this time last year. But listings are starting to increase. We hope they will be increasing, not because people are in financial trouble, but just because people are getting more comfortable with putting their properties back on the market. So yes, people are selling right now.
Yeah, and then the other question that we're giving is, are buyers buying? Buyers are definitely buying. We are at an historical low with interest rates. They have not been this low in 60 years. So savvy buyers are taking advantage of it. We just, from one of our favorite mortgage lenders, Andy Christianot with Movement Mortgage, gave us an update a couple days ago about one of her closings where the buyers got 2.99%. So yes, buyers are buying, and we are seeing multiple offers in markets where, the house is hot. It's in a hot neighborhood. It's maybe it's turnkey, already renovated or something, and buyers are flocking to it in multiple offers. So the market is very active.
Very active. We do have to educate buyers, though. Sometimes they come in believing that the market right now, you can purchase things at a significant discount. It's not that kind of market. As Tracy mentioned, we're seeing multiple offers, particularly when properties are well priced, which is always an important thing for sellers to do in areas that are particularly popular right now. But transactions are definitely happening. We do want you to know, though, that this is not that kind of market where there actually, as we discussed earlier, the market in LA is never that kind of market where you can expect deep discounts. The only time you can kind of hope to have that is if you have cash and you're going to the courthouse to bid on a foreclosure. Otherwise, if you are looking at a real estate owned property that's already been through the foreclosure process and now it wasn't picked up and now it's on the market with the bank, or you're looking at a short sale, in those cases, you can't really count on there being deep discounts either. The bank wants fair market value for those properties. We're hoping that we're not going to be seeing a lot of those coming up, but because some banks were offering forbearances on mortgage payments, not necessarily to be paid back at the end of the mortgage period, but to be paid at some later deferred date. If people are not able to make those deferred payments, we might start seeing some problems in terms of foreclosures.
But then again, too, just to add on to that, we pray that doesn't happen. We want everybody who owns a home and wants to stay in their home to be able to stay in their home. If they can't work out some type of repayment plan with their lender after this forbearance period, then yes, we could possibly see, like you said, some lenders foreclosing. But does that mean that that's going to be a deal for buyers? No, because like you said before, if a lender decides that they're going to foreclose on a property, they're not going to give some great discount. They're going to put
Not
this
at
property
all.
on the market at market value. And what we've seen over the past few months since this pandemic started in mid-March is that there has not been a huge dive, I think the last time we looked at it, it was maybe 2%,
Mm-hmm.
decrease in listing price.
Right.
So we're not seeing that and don't anticipate seeing that in the future. So
Yeah.
I think everybody needs to act like this is a regular market. There's a pandemic and there is a situation going on that has an effect on the economy overall, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
a real estate driven issue where now the real estate market is being severely impacted by it.
Absolutely true. If anything, I think it's a little bit of a seller's market. I mean, there's not a lot of inventory right now on the market, and there are a variety of reasons for that. Some sellers are just don't really want people in their homes right now, because they're, even though we've got great procedures to deal with showing a property, but they don't want people in their homes, or they're just concerned that people are going to be losing their jobs, and this is not the right time for them to be trying to sell to maybe a market that doesn't have very many buyers. But as Traci mentioned, there are lots of buyers out there. They're all bidding on the same limited inventory. So it is a great time actually to be a seller in this market.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what other questions we can answer. We don't want to make this too long.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Can you even show a house right now? Yep, you can show a house right now. We're doing it all the time. We've got specific guidelines that we have to follow that have come down as an interpretation from what the state has issued, their state mandates, and then our California Association of Realtors has interpreted that and given us some very specific guidelines that we must follow when we're showing a house.
Right.
So we provide all of that information to everybody who wants to get into business with us, to let them know what you need to do and what we do and what responsibility that we take in trying to ensure that your home is as safe as possible. And for a buyer, when you're visiting a home, all the protocols that are in place, we make sure that we adhere to and make sure that you understand before going out and taking a look at homes.
Absolutely. And one of the things that's really gained in popularity during this COVID era are virtual tours, which is a way that people can see a property without actually having to be there, and Matterport tours, which are a 3D rendering of the property where you actually can almost feel like you're walking through. Sometimes you get a little stuck in the corner, but you back it on up, turn around, but it's a 3D rendering. It's, for a lot of people, it feels like I've got to see the property before I make an offer, because you want to feel yourself in the space. You don't really have a sense of what the measurements are, even with virtual staging or actual staging. But these are ways for you to see a property out of area, or if you're a little more concerned about not going to see something unless it really feels like the one. Virtual tours and Matterport tours, and people had a question about what Matterport was. Those are ways that you can actually visualize a property without having to physically go there.
Yeah. I think, do you want to address jumbo loans? Because I think we've pretty much gone through this list. If we want to talk
Sure.
about
I'll just make a note that one person had asked if you can still get a property inspected when you're in escrow. Absolutely. Inspectors are just following the appropriate CDC guidelines, CAR guidelines, as well, to make sure that they're disclosing if they feel they've been exposed to coronavirus, and then are using all the appropriate tools that we would give them to make sure that they're entering the property and not spreading anything that they potentially could have if they're not aware, if they do or do not. So jumbo loans have changed a little bit. What's going on in lending is great with this 60-year low and these very low interest rates, but jumbo loans are getting a little tighter in their requirements and your ability to qualify them. So, for example, Traci had mentioned Andy Christinan at Movement Mortgage, and we've talked to her a little bit about the state of jumbo loans, and what she's indicated is they're actually splitting the loan into two loans so that buyers can put down as little as possible and qualify for those jumbo loans. But now the minimum is for jumbo loans is 20%. So without splitting it, you've got that obstacle to overcome. So sometimes splitting it will allow you to put down a little bit less too. So there are ways to work through it, even though things have changed. And refinancing is really where tons of lenders are spending their time right now and doing their business, because people are kind of hunkering down, wanting to do those home improvement things they've been putting off for years. So there are a lot, or they need cash out. There's a lot of refi business going on. So lenders are backed up because of that.
Yeah, it's taking a little bit longer to get a refi through. Purchase originations are at the top of the list. People who are, coming into the market trying to buy a home, they don't want to drag out that process for them. So lenders are prioritizing, the mortgage originations, but they are doing refis, like Lorna said, because the rates are fantastically low. So if you want to stay put, stay put.
Yes, we're staying put.
We're staying put. So those are some of the questions that we did receive prior to, and have been asked prior to wanting to do this live Q&A, which is now recorded. But we're gonna, again, as we said, work out the technical difficulties, get back to a live Q&A. If you have some questions that we haven't covered here, some things that you want to talk about, just give us a call. We are in this business because we love it. There's no question that's dumb. So we appreciate any questions that you have. We want to talk a bit about real estate because it's what we do. So contact us at our Facebook page. You can call us. You can email us. This is going to be on our YouTube page. Obviously, it's already there. And on our Facebook page and our Instagram. So we're at bateshennington.com.
Right. And our email is experts. Oh, I'm sorry, I spoke over you.
Okay.
Experts@bateshennington.com is the great way to get in touch with us via email.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.